One major concern for immigrants, both new or old, or for those that are looking to immigrate, is where do I even start from? How do I get that job that would be able to afford me the lifestyle that I desired, the lifestyle that made me to leave my country in the first place? But I'll tell you what, it is a whole lot more difficult to navigate on your own. Without guidance and without the right information, my darlings, follow who no road. That road that will take you 2 hours to be circulating. If you follow who no road, you might reach your destination soon. And that is why I have brought to us the founder of 10 Analytics, who will be telling us all we need to know, what we need to do, and how to position ourselves on that pathway to good income earnings abroad. Whether you're a new immigrant in UK, US, or Canada, or you are an intending migrant, or maybe you've been here for a while, looking to change your career path, positioning yourself for a more lucrative, better paying opportunity, please do not skip any part of this video. Meet our guest, the one and only, the founder of 10 Analytics, Adiza. Let us know you.
All right. Thank you very much for that, Neze. My name is Adeza Suleiman, and I'm the founder of 10 Analytics and the co-founder of Amdari. So for us at 10 Analytics, we are the leading educational technology company helping Africans in Africa and Africans in the diaspora to secure high-paying tech jobs, especially within the areas of data analytics, data science, data engineering, and so on and so forth. We've helped people across different regions from the UK to the US to Canada, across Europe, and we've helped them literally move from non-technology backgrounds to getting their first jobs within the tech ecosystem. And over the last 4 years, we've helped over 2,855 people to land jobs within the tech ecosystem. We are proud of the work that we do, and we ensure that what we deploy to help people land that job is years of expertise and experience within these regions that we bring to bear to ensure that we are able to break into the tech ecosystem. So I'd look forward to sharing my experience in today's session.
Thank you so much, Hadiza. Thanks for gracing us with your presence. All right, so without further ado, let us dive right into this video. My first question is, can you share your background and your experience back home before you relocated abroad?
Okay, fantastic question. So, unlike what so many people think, my first degree was in industrial chemistry. So I studied industrial chemistry in the university. I had no technology background, no computer science background. But right out of the university, I got a job as a management consultant. So I worked as a management consultant in the financial services sector with an organization owned by the CBN, the Central Bank of Nigeria, and the Bankers Committee. And that was where I got introduced into data analytics. So I got introduced into data analytics. I learned data analytics myself and the co-founder of 10 Analytics. We learned together, and that was where we were able to build the skills. From FITC in the financial services sector as a management consultant, I moved to one of the largest privately owned energy conglomerates in sub-Saharan Africa as a business data analyst. So I got into the organization. I worked as a business data analyst, and my role changed along the years from business data analyst to management information systems analyst, and so on and so forth. So that was pretty much how I got started before I moved from Nigeria and I relocated to the UK. And I worked in the UK before I moved to Canada. So it's been an interesting time for me and for us as well. I founded 10 Analytics in 2020, and I moved from helping organizations to make sense of their data to helping individuals to also make the same transition, just like I had done, from moving from a non-technology background, no experience, to moving into the tech ecosystem. And I'll speak a little bit more about the work that we do at 10 Analytics.
Oh, great. So just to ask you this question here, are these opportunities available to those that do not have any background in tech? Or do you need to have some little background in tech to be able to be availed of these opportunities?
All right. The tech ecosystem is heavily skill based. And I always tell people this. So we've had Over the last 4 years, we've helped over 2,855 people and more to move from their current jobs into the tech ecosystem with no background, no knowledge. So we've had care workers become business analysts. We've had logistic professionals from Nigeria, they moved to the UK, they moved to Canada. Today they are data analysts. We've had accountants becoming data scientists. And the process is straightforward and very simple. These are skill-based ecosystem. As long as you're able to learn the skills, the technical skills, you know what it takes to also get in front of the recruiter, your employability skills. Then, more importantly, you need to be able to show that you have experience, which is where so many people struggle with showing experience.
True.
And I'll speak a little bit about that, how we at Analytics help you show experience that you've done it before. Because you'd agree with me that no recruiter in the UK, for example, who would hire you and probably give you sponsorship would hire you when they are not sure that you can do the job for them. You've done it before and you can do it for them. And even in Canada as well, they would ask for Canadian work experience. We've heard that a lot. So how do you navigate that, that aspect of the job application process? After getting the opportunity to interview, how do you show potential employers that you have the experience to actually do the job? So I'll speak about that as we move on. And that's one of the reasons why so many people that have gone through 10 analytics have thrived. And today they are working in different capacities from project managers to business analysts to data analysts and so on and so forth.
Okay, that's very good to know because some people at the onset of this video might be like, oh, my background is in arts.
Yeah.
How do I start? So that's very good that you cleared that. So let's take the next question. We would like to know how you landed your first job as a business data analyst in one of the biggest energy conglomerates in sub-Saharan Africa. Please tell us more about that.
All right, fantastic question. So that was one of the best times within the tech ecosystem for me as a professional. So, like I mentioned, that was not my first entry into data analytics. So, I had worked as a data analytics consultant with FITC in the financial services sector, but then I moved from there to the energy sector, working for Sahara Power Group, one of the largest energy conglomerates in sub-Saharan Africa, as a business data analyst. So just like many people, I applied. Okay, Sahara was trying to recruit at that time for a senior experienced analyst role, and they had multiple roles available. So I put in my application and I got invited for the interview. And the application process was very rigorous,
Can
and
imagine.
I can remember the experience like it was yesterday.
I can imagine.
So the first stage was literally writing an online exam. So we had an online exam, wrote the exam. It was pretty much around logic and a little bit of mathematics. So I did that. The second stage was a case study presentation. So the case study presentation, they gave us a 13-page document to read and then make a presentation. And I remember there was a guy who came from the bank at that time. When he saw the 13-page document, he said he wasn't going to do he wasn't going to do this,
He gave up.
and he left.
Oh
And
my
he
God.
left. So we tried to convince him to stay, but he didn't stay. He left eventually. So that was the second stage. Then the third stage was an interview where we had the HR, we had the hiring manager, and there was a third person on the panel. And I did well during that interview as well. And then the final stage was where I got to meet with, and I'm not going to exaggerate. When I walked into the room, there were a minimum of 30 people in that room, 30 or more. It couldn't have been less than 30. So all the directors, all the chiefs, the CEOs of all the companies within the group, the CFOs, the CHROs, and so on, they were all in the same room. And that was the final stage. As God would have it, I got that job. All right. And the lesson from there is this: so many times people feel that a particular job requirement is beyond them and they will not even take the step to apply.
True.
The jobs you don't apply to, you lose out on them 100%. The ones you apply to, you give yourself a chance of landing that job. Okay, so that was what happened to me. So, and I always use my story as a lesson to so many people because at that time, looking at the requirements of the job and looking at my profile, there was no reason why I should have gotten that job.
The job.
but I got the job and I had a fantastic time. I worked with some of the smartest, most intelligent people I've ever gotten to work with. So I asked the question when I got into the company, why was I hired? What did you see in me that got me hired? And my line manager at that time told me the company, especially within my department, was undergoing a data warehousing project. And they needed somebody that had SQL skills, SQL, structured query language. I had that, and the competition, most of them did not have it. And that was why I got the job. And like I said, you give yourself a 50-50 chance of landing that job when you apply, and you give yourself a 0%
No
chance
chance.
when you
Yeah,
don't apply. Yeah. So that's
true.
pretty much how I got into the company.
That's true. And even to add, even if you do not get any chance at all to be employed in the job, to be chosen, you get all the opportunity to learn from
Absolutely.
the process, to get some
Absolutely.
experience, to
Absolutely.
get, to just learn from the process. So it's always a win-win. There's no reason
Absolutely.
why you should feel intimidated by a job role or, just give up on it without even making an attempt. So that's
Absolutely.
interesting because you might feel like you do not have what is required, but what you have might be what is needed for that role. So
It's usually, I tell people that any job vacancy you see out there is a wish list from HR. They wish to have the perfect person. However, jobs are more difficult on paper than in reality. So if you have these two mentality, it's a wish list. It's always more difficult on paper. Then you know that I can actually do this job if I meet 60 to 70% of the requirements. So go ahead, apply, give yourself a fighting chance. And just like me, you could get that opportunity eventually.
that's good. That's so inspirational. We are getting to the cocoa of this video.
Yeah.
As someone that has lived in the UK and Canada as well, you have all the experiences when it comes to job related endeavors. How will you describe the job market in the UK, in the US, and in Canada? Because believe me, a lot of people are crying. I belong to several immigrant groups
Yeah.
where you see people who held, very senior management positions back home here hustling, begging, please, anybody that has any babysitting job, anything, just I need to survive, I need to pay my bills. So people are having different, plus social media is not helping, okay? People are having very skewed concepts about the job markets in these three countries, especially. What is your own take? Honest take.
Okay. That's a fantastic question. So, but before I answer the question directly, I'll just talk about before I moved to the UK, how I decided to prepare for the job market. So,
Okay.
and this is where information is very important and the type of people you surround yourself with. The co-founder of Tenalytics at that time had already left Nigeria. So he moved to Ireland. From Ireland, he moved to the UK. So we were always discussing, oh, what's the job market like and so on. And he had gotten a job. His name is Efemena. Efemena had pretty similar skills to the skills that I had. Okay,
Mhm.
we learned together back in Nigeria before he left Nigeria. So I knew that if Efemena can get a job moving to the UK, then I can also get a job because I have similar skills. And Ifemena was always encouraging and saying, oh, you need to leave Nigeria, you need to leave Nigeria. I had moved to the energy sector, like I explained a few minutes ago, and I felt I was earning good money, right? So I told Ifemena that, look, I don't think I want to leave. I'm enjoying my work, I'm earning good money. And he said, how much do you earn? Let me even see your pay slip. And I shared it with him. And when he saw my salary, he said, I can make that in a week working in the UK. So that was what I earned every month. I could make it in 1 week in the UK. So that changed my entire perspective and I decided to leave. Now, I got a job in the UK 1 month after moving to the UK. All right. So my story is not fancy. I'm not going to tell you that I worked in the warehouse, I worked in care. I didn't do all of those things. I got my very first job as a customer insights analyst with a Belron group in the UK. And the reason why I got that job was simple. I had the skills required to compete for the job because I had somebody who had done it before and they had told me all the things I needed to do. I had Excel, I knew Power BI, I knew SQL, and these were the skills that are required to get to do that job. So I applied, went through the interview process, and I got the job. So going back to your question, Nezeville, the US, the UK, the Canadian job markets, all these three economies are pretty similar with different, nuances depending on where you are. But let's start with the US and let's start from the previous year in 2024. The US had slow job growth,
Mhm.
right? Compared to 2023, the US only grew by about 2.2 million jobs in 2024 compared to 2.7 million the previous year. However, that's an average of about 186,000 jobs per month. However, in the tech ecosystem, jobs grew by over 5%, about 5.8%. And what that simply means is as the economy slowed down in terms of job growth, jobs were growing in the tech ecosystem. And the career path that led to growth were in agile project management, data science roles, software development, data analyst, data scientist, and so on and so forth. Okay. Now, the US economy is also projected to grow, especially in the tech ecosystem, by over 22% in 2025. So let's break it down a little bit more. Last year, you would see Amazon is firing 1,000 employees, Google laid off staff, and so on. So the big tech laid off employees. However, the medium to large enterprises hired those people. So there was a study that said 70% of people that were laid off from the big tech companies got jobs with other companies, smaller companies, within the space of 2 weeks.
Yes.
70% of them. So while the big techs laid off, other companies within the economy hired them. Now let's go to the UK. In the UK, you had an improved performance from 2024 to 2023. They had a higher job growth, slightly by about 1%. However, in the tech ecosystem, jobs grew by about 3.5%. So while the economy grew in terms of job creation by about 1 to 2%, in the tech ecosystem, it grew by 3.5%, more than the general jobs within the UK. And the jobs that led this growth: data analysts, data protection officers, data engineers, data scientists, all within the data ecosystem and the tech ecosystem. And the UK economy, in terms of job growth, is projected to grow by another 8% in 2025. Now, Canada did not enjoy the job growth compared to the UK. They had a slight decline in terms of number of jobs created. Just like the other three, the UK and the US, Canada also improved jobs within the tech ecosystem by 2.5%. So while there was a general slowdown in the job creation economy, jobs within tech grew by 2.5%. So what does that tell you? People would cry because they don't have the skills and they don't have the experience to compete for the type of jobs that would get you those opportunities. So you'd find a lot of Africans, people of the Black community, applying to jobs within health and care because they feel that that's the easiest way to get opportunities, get
Mhm.
sponsorship, get PR, and so on and so forth. But there are so many other opportunities, especially within the tech ecosystem, that would open you up to those same benefits that comes with the health and care visa. I don't want to go into too many statistics, and I'll just give a few examples. We had a lady who lived in Saskatchewan. She was a care worker. She had moved to Canada. She was a care worker. She really wanted to leave the care working job because it's physically demanding.
True.
She joined our business analysis program. We worked with her for the space of about 5 months, and she had started applying to jobs. We prepared her for our interviews, and today she works with the government of Alberta as a business analyst. Her name is Abigail. She's currently a business analyst working with the government of Alberta. And that's just one example out of so many other examples. So if you have the right skills, you have the experience, and you can showcase that experience, you will compete for the best jobs available and land those jobs.
Wow. Mhm. And these things you are saying are very tantalizing. In fact, you're making me want to enter my You're making me reconsider my whole life projection in this Canada. But really, I
Absolutely.
do not assume that it's a coincidence when you
Yeah.
say I went for this job interview and I got it. I went for. I don't think it's luck. I think it's something that you are doing and you are doing right. I hope there is something like a group, a mail somewhere that my people can, if they want more information, somewhere they can reach out to you guys. I think we should say it earlier on now,
Yeah.
just in the event that some people do not watch till the end. I hope there is a forum or a platform where people can reach out to you directly and get more information and sign up for what you have to offer.
Absolutely, there is. We have a community, so new entrants join that community. It's a WhatsApp community, and
Okay.
we send you invites to our free sessions. So we have free sessions every now and then, almost every weekends, every Saturdays, and these sessions are delivered to enlighten and educate people on the most in-demand career path to consider, depending on where you are. Most people jump in because their friends are doing it, or somebody
Exactly.
has told them that this is the best path to take. However, when you join the community, you have the opportunity to join sessions for free, ask as many questions as possible before you decide to take advantage. And just to piggyback off what you said, when you talked about it's not luck when somebody goes for an interview. Absolutely. And I've seen people make this mistake because I've mentored thousands and thousands and thousands of people. You ask them simple questions like, tell me about yourself. And then they start to say all sorts of things. Oh,
About
my name is
their wives,
Adega.
their wives and their children and their
I'm the
religion.
first son of my family. I'm from Kogi State.
I'm from Kogi State. You don't say that over
Irrelevancies.
here. I'm a Christian with
Absolutely.
4 children.
You don't do that, okay? So and one of the things that potential employers want to see from you is that confidence and the fact that you are somebody that can fit into their culture and you can work with them. So you want to start by maybe starting with small talk, for example. Oh, I was researching into your company and I saw that you had team bonding activities last week. How often do you have team bonding activities? And you start asking questions. Oh, the weather is so good today. How is the weather where you're coming from? And you start with small talk, you warm yourself up to them, and eventually they see that, oh, this is somebody that is likable, and I can easily work with this person. So I always say
Exactly.
this. Yeah,
Exactly. Sorry to come in here. I
yeah,
have a storytelling. I always tell my people here on YouTube
yeah,
that there is nothing as captivating, as catchy as a storyteller. Because
absolutely.
that interviewer, that human resource staff may forget that person that has 15 years experience, but will not forget a good story. That
Absolutely.
impression of yourself will forever be etched in that person's memory when you carve a niche of storytelling about you. These things are thoughts. They
Yeah,
don't come, yeah, they're thoughts. That's why when you're at a place and you are seeking success, you're seeking progression, you need professional help. Guys, do
absolutely.
not ever think that you know it all or you have it all. You need people that have been there before you, that have the know how, that have the experience to guide you, to hold your hands. And that is what 10 Analytics will do for you. They would
Yeah,
hold your hand, they would guide you through the whole process, your resume, the job interview process, revamping your LinkedIn profile, make you searchable and accessible. They would position you for that job that would give you not just survival, but give you peace, growth, career progression, and a healthy, sustainable livelihood. Not just, coming to do a warehousing job and care and scraping up a living. They will give you a good platform where you can have a good standard of living. So please reach out to them.
absolutely.
I'm going to leave the links to access them down in the comment section and pinned in the description box. Follow who no road. Just like I didn't tell you.
Absolutely.
All right,
Absolutely.
Lisa. Let's go to our next question. We're rounding up, guys, so just stick around with us, okay? A lot of people are still desirous of coming, but there is this notion that these countries do not want any more immigrants. They are tired. Go back to your country. Stay in your papa land. But I believe that there are still some things that can set one aside and make them more desirable by these countries that they want to go to. So I would like to know, what are the hottest in demand jobs in US, UK, and Canada? When if somebody wants to come over there and they position themselves towards that path, they have a higher rate of success or getting employed. Please spill the secrets to us.
All right. Thank you very much for that question. Another very brilliant question. And that's simply because, like you said, there's a notion that countries don't want people to come, but that's not true. The UK, for example, is about to launch a new visa pathway to attract talents into the UK, especially talents within tech, AI, and science.
Sorry, does Kemi Badenoch know about this plan? Have you informed her of this plan?
maybe, maybe Auntie Kemi has not been informed
He
yet,
hasn't heard
but
of this one. No?
but I mean, there's a new pathway that's about to be launched. It was announced in the World Economic Forum meeting that happened in January by the Chancellor of the Exchequer. And what the UK is essentially trying to do is gets highly skilled talents into their country. And for those already in the country, they can take advantage of those visa pathways to remain and stay in the country because there is the world is globalized today. Technology turns borders, transcends countries, and you need highly skilled talents to spur innovation within the country. Now, having said that, one of the ways we try to research into these roles that are in high demand, we take a two-step approach or a two-pronged approach. The first step is every year, at the end of the year, we scrape data from the major job boards, from Indeed to Glassdoor to CV Library to UK Visa Jobs to Job Bank to Workopolis and so on and so forth across the three major economies, the US, the UK, and Canada. We analyze that data to identify the career path that have the highest frequency of demand. Where is the hiring happening? So we look at those career paths and we put them aside. Then we also look at reputable organizations like the World Economic Forum. Every 2 years, they release this report called the Future of Jobs Report. Anybody can Google it. The World Economic Forum Future of Jobs Report. And over the last about 8 years, 8 to 10 years, they have been very accurate in predicting where the world would be. And rightfully so, because the World Economic Forum is a comprises of your politicians, the top industry leaders, your Elon Musk, your Jeff Bezos, your the US president, and so on and so forth. So they all come together every 2 years and they chart the path of where the world would be. In that report, you have jobs that would grow in demand and jobs that would decline in demand, right? For example, in the next 5 years, between 2025 to 2030, 72 million jobs will disappear from the face of Earth, all right, due to the advent of new technologies, AI, agentic AIs, and so on. However, while 72 million jobs will disappear, 90 new jobs will be created. So, two things you want to consider. I don't want to be part of the jobs that will disappear. I want to be part of the jobs that would either be created or already exist and would continue to grow in demand. And looking at the analysis we carried out and the World Economic Forum Future of Jobs report, there are 8 career paths that if you find yourself in any of these career paths, you won't struggle to land a job. You would compete for the best jobs available across these regions. Number one is data analytics, data science, data engineering, business analysis, HR analytics, financial analytics, agile project management, and last but not the least is cybersecurity. If you find yourself in any of these 8 career paths, you would not struggle to land a job. Some of the jobs that are declining in demand and people don't know, if you're a translator, for example, you're a language expert, your job is at risk. Google Translate has taken over your job. So many other technologies have taken over your job. If you're just in customer service or in sales, your job is going to disappear due to agentic AI with a vision to do a job and do it far better than you. All right. Accountants and auditors are also in the next 5 years, their jobs will start to decline in terms of relevance. And it's not a report done by me, it's the World Economic Forum. So, how does an accountant today stay relevant, compete for the best jobs? Very simple. Take your accounting skills, add data analytics or data science to your skills. And you can apply to jobs as a financial analyst, financial planning and analysis professional, commercial analyst, and so on and so forth. So you can fuse your skills, your prior experience with career paths that are on the increase, on the rise, for you to stay relevant and still land that job eventually. So those are the 8 career paths. It doesn't matter where you are. The UK is launching new visa pathways to get you into the country. Canada has so many pathways. You have the Saskatchewan Tech Talent Pathway. Alberta has the Alberta Advantage Immigration Program, where tech is one of the major pathways that would get you your provincial nomination, and eventually you get your permanent residence. And even in the US as well, the US is currently reviewing their H-1B visa to make it more attractive and attract highly skilled talent from across the globe. So if you're somebody who doesn't have these skills, then you run the risk of either moving to these countries, or if you're already in the country, remaining in the country and getting the best jobs available. So that's where I would say you start from. So don't quit following people that say, oh, this is the best way to go. Do this from a point of research, a point of a knowledge based research, where you can see clearly this is where the world is going. And I'm going to be on that same boat to get there as well.
That's very good to hear. There's a
Yeah,
saying that the world is tech now, or the future is tech,
absolutely.
right? And
Absolutely.
everything you are saying and all those reports, I'm going to personally, because I love to research, I love to read, I'm going to
Yeah.
personally go and access these documents that you just mentioned and see for myself whether I'm going to be out of a job very soon. Or whether my own career is still relevant. Thank you very much for that. Adiza, we have heard everything you've said, and they sound very sweet, very rosy, but there is a reality, or there is a concept that we already have when it comes to new immigrants or newcomers or newbies getting access and penetrating these in-demand jobs. Adiza, are you aware that we all believe that without the local experience in these countries, we will not be able to get these jobs? Many of us have to go volunteer or take up some jobs for free just to get that Canadian experience or UK work experience. Because we do not understand how we can get the job when it is believed that we need experience to get that job. And we're just coming. So, where do we get these experiences from? So,
Yeah.
how easy is it for newbies to penetrate these in demand jobs without prior local experience in them?
All right. Fantastic. So it's a catch 22, the chicken and the egg situation. For you to get a job, you need experience, right? The company would say, come with 2 years experience, 3 years experience. And for you to gain experience, you also need a
The
job.
job.
Exactly. So, but there's a solution to that, and it's a very straightforward solution. First things first is you have to recognize that your skills, your experience are valid. Okay. I mentioned earlier that technology transcends borders, transcends countries. Python in the US is Python in Nigeria. Microsoft Excel in Ghana is Microsoft Excel in Canada. They are the same technologies, right? So it doesn't matter where you are, you learn these skills. Your skills are transferable irrespective of where you find yourself. Now, having said that, employers want you to show them that you've done this before, you can do it for them, and there must be evidence to prove that, especially if you're in different countries. Like in Canada, for example, you'd be more attractive when you have Canadian work experience with with a Canada-based company, right? And let me give this very simple analogy. So imagine Nezeville, you want to buy a couch in your living room, and you're considering 2 different carpenters. The first carpenter has a certificate that shows that he's gone to carpentry school. He was the best in his carpentry class, and he has a paper to show for that. And you have the second carpenter who has a showroom. The showroom has different couches. You can touch the couch, you can feel the couch, feel the quality, see different options. Which of the 2 carpenters would you give that contract to get your couch?
The later.
Absolutely. It's a no-brainer. Everybody would go for the second carpenter because there's evidence that you can do the job and this is what you've done before. You must have evidence that you can do the job. Now, one of the things we do at Analytics, it doesn't matter the program you join, you must create a showroom like that carpenter that has samples of the couches they've built, and that's a portfolio. So, as a data analyst, you'd have a portfolio. All the projects you work on in class, you upload that to the portfolio. All the projects, all the work you complete during your internship with us, you upload that to your portfolio. And that serves as proof of experience. So when you join us, you don't join Analytics as a student or as a trainee. You join us as a contractor. All right. So you work for us. You are it's you put us on your CV. Analytics will be on your CV. Analytics is based in Alberta, Canada, registered Canadian company. You have that on your CV, you have that on your LinkedIn, and any potential employer would see that you've done this job and they request for a reference and they send that to us. We provide a reference for you.
Oh,
If you're in the UK as well, you have your internship with our sister company called Amdari. Amdari is based in London in the UK. So you'd have that on your CV, you have that on your LinkedIn, and that is how you prove that you have work experience. So there's a way around it. All what the employers want is to know that they're hiring the right person. They're hiring somebody that can do the job, not somebody that appears to know how to do the job. So you have that carpenter that has a showroom. People can walk into the showroom, see what you've done, and they know how good you are. That carpenter that has a paper, either a certification or their CV that shows that they can do the work. But nobody hires you if they can't see what you've done before. And that's how we provide you with work experience. So remember your experiences, the skills and the tools and the technologies you learn. It doesn't matter where you are, those tools are relevant. And you must have a portfolio to show that you have those skills.
oh, that's very interesting. Knowledge, they say, is really power because I too was of the opinion that whatever you're coming from your country with does not count. That you
No,
must
it
start
does
from
count.
ground zero. You must
Yeah.
start from the bottom. But it's very interesting to know that, if you have evidence, if you can show for it, then
Yeah.
it can be considered. All
Yeah,
right.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Thanks
Just to
for
write on that, 1 second. So there was a lady, her name is Hope. Hope moved to Canada. She had done PMP, project management certification. She had done Scrum Master certification because we always chase the paper. Paper, there's a paper ceiling. You feel like if I break that ceiling, I'll get the job. So she had all the certifications. She moved from Nigeria to Canada. She couldn't even land interviews. All right. She came to us sometime around, I think that was in October 2024. She joined our Agile Project Management program. And one of the first things we did with Hope was to ensure that she created a portfolio. The second thing was to shift her mindset from putting her certifications forward, but rather talk about your competence, your skills, and your experience and what you've done before. And
that.
by December 2024, within the space of about 3 months, Hope landed her first job in Canada, 6 figures as a project analyst with a company in Waterloo, Ontario. Just to buttress my points, earlier.
Wow, these are very good testimonials. You guys are also on Instagram, right? So people can also go and see this that these are real people. That these are not
Absolutely.
just fiction. These are real people, real faces, real
Absolutely.
profiles that have
Absolutely.
benefited from your mentorship and your guidance, right?
Absolutely.
I'm also going to leave the link to their Instagram accounts down in the comment section and also in the description box. So you guys should follow them and see what they're all about. They offer plenty of value. All right, so Adiza, you mentioned that you have mentored and guided thousands of people, if my memory does not fail me. You did mention
Yeah.
that. So, as an expert with all of these experiences, I would like you to just give us one nugget, one piece of sound and solid advice that you would give or you have for people who have their eyes or their focus on the job market in 2025, whether people who are already resident in these countries or they are planning to come over. What is that one piece of advice that you have for them?
Equip yourself with relevant information. That's the advice I'd give to anyone. Look for somebody who has done it, has achieved, and has done the things you're trying to achieve, and get all the information you can get from them. That's the advice I'd give. And to also get started, a lot of people find it difficult to stay committed to something. So
Mm,
commitment is not focus and trying to get something done. Commitment is the elimination of alternatives. All right. So pick one of the eight career paths. Do your research as well. Follow us across all social media. We are on YouTube, we are on LinkedIn, our websites, we are on Instagram, we are on Facebook, and all over the place. All right. See the people that have done the same thing you are trying to do. How did they do it? And you start to do the same. Pick one of those areas and decide that I'm going to focus on this area. I'm going to stay committed. I'll eliminate all the other career paths and I'll stay true to this. Within the space of 6 months to 8 months, you would also be one of the testimonials that I would be giving in a session like this. And one of the best places to start is know what you want to get into. All right. Don't
definitely.
stumble into it. Know what you want to get into. So join our community, join one of our free sessions, come to that session, ask all the questions you have, pick my brain, the brain of the co-founder, pick his brain as well, ask as many questions as possible and you make a decision that this is what I want to do and get started. Getting started is the most important thing. The best time to start was 10 years ago. Next best time to start is today. So get started essentially. That's the advice I'd give to anyone.
You're very right. Thank you for that because we see a lot of people that come abroad very
Yeah.
indecisive. Today they are in care, next tomorrow they're in psych,
Yes.
they're doing nothing. The next month they have jobs to
Yeah.
to HR. They just
Yeah.
anywhere that they say, oh, this is the hospital, they run there.
You're
So
on
it's
there.
good for you to pick, make your research,
Yeah.
pick one that you have interest in, and
Yeah.
stay committed because you cannot
Absolutely.
achieve without commitment. Whatever you want in life, you need to be committed to that goal. So
Absolutely.
that's a good one. Last but not the least, before we let you go, you've given
Yeah.
so much already. Before we let you go, a lot of people might be like, oh, yeah, these companies, they come with so much goodies and so much offers. And, after the initial trainings, they just disappear. They blank out on you. They leave you in the desert, in the dark.
Yeah.
It's analytics like that. How do you guys go the extra mile? I really want them to be satisfied. Their satisfaction is mine. So, what do your company do outside the basics after these trainings? Do
Yeah.
they just leave their students halfway, or how do they impact on them after the trainings to help them land a job? Because that is the whole thing, to land this mouth-watering job that can give them a good pay and the standard of life that they desire. What do your company do to achieve that?
Yeah, fantastic question, Nezeville. So, one of the major things that we live by at Analytics is the fact that we are building a community, okay, a community of professionals and a community of Africans who are thriving within the tech ecosystem globally. And I'll give you a typical example, just to answer your question. There's a gentleman, his name is Idris. Idris joined us, I think, in 2022. He got his first job working with Jaguar Land Rover in Coventry in the UK. Now, Idris moved from that job to another job as an analytics engineer, working with QuantSpark in the UK, in London. Now he has another interview, and he has booked an interview preparation session, and we are preparing him for his interview. So this is somebody who joined us about 2 years ago. All right. So you are part of the community. You have lifetime access. So you have a new interview, you're moving to a new job. Analytics is also there for you. All right. So part of the things we do is our mentorship sessions. So apart from your typical training, we know that getting the job, staying on the job goes beyond just the technical skills. So we have mentorship sessions every single week, every Thursday evenings. And as long as you want to join the mentorship session, is always open to you, except you decide, I don't want to join anymore. I've gotten a job, I've secured, what I came here to do. But that's always open. You join that session for free as long as you're a part of our community. That means you've paid, you've done one of our training, and you're a part of that program, right? Then we also have our CV sessions and our LinkedIn sessions. Like you mentioned, getting the job goes beyond just the technical. What gets you to the front of the employer, the potential employer, is your CV and your LinkedIn. And what enables you get that job is the interview prep. So as
Mm,
long as you need help and support with interviews, you don't need to talk to anybody. You don't need to send anybody a message. You log on to your LMS, your dashboard, which you have your login details to. Part of the things you'd see there is book an interview session. And once you do that, somebody joins a session with you. They prepare you for that interview, and that increases your chances of landing the job. So these are some of the ways that we help our participants, even though they have completed, they've gotten the job and they've left, they're moving to another role. They can always come back, book
mm,
an interview. We prepare them for that. So we have all of these, and including the internship. I talked about the internship earlier. So once you are done in class, all the technical skills, you need to understand how to work in the real world of work, where you don't work in silos. You work together with other team members in a cross-functional team. So if
mm,
you're in agile project management, for example, you get to work with a business analyst, you get to work with a software developer, and together you solve a problem, a common problem for that particular organization. So you build your ability to work in a team, and you also gain those interpersonal skills essentially. So we call this the T plus E equation, which is the technical skills plus the employability skills gets you the job. So we don't just stop at technical, which is where a lot of people stop. We have
mm.
the employability, and you have lifetime access to the community. You have your dashboard, you log into the LMS, you always can come back, watch your videos, watch what happened in class as a form of reference to you. And again, that's where we believe the true value is at the end of the day, because you don't finish and you're just out of the system. You're always part of the analytics community.
I love that's very lovely. It's good
Yeah,
to know that even after the initial training, you guys have the backs of the people of your people building a
absolutely.
community and going even beyond the
Yeah.
basics. So that's good. So ladies and gentlemen, my dear Nezevilians watching me, you have heard everything from the founder himself, the founder of 10 Analytics. Adisa. He has told us all there is to know, at least for starters. If you are interested in these kinds of things, listen, you cannot overemphasize the need for knowledge from the right source.
Absolutely.
I am always seeking knowledge. The need for knowledge cannot be overemphasized because you might feel like you
Absolutely.
know it all or you are doing it the right way until someone that knows better than you comes in and tells you, okay, why don't you do it like this? Do it like this. And you might end up getting that desired result that you've been pursuing all along. So you heard him free of charge. There is a program, a webinar, right?
It's a webinar, yes. Every weekends, every Saturdays.
Okay. So every Saturday, there are free webinars, free of charge, FOC. You're not paying 1 naira to join this
Yeah.
webinar where you can throw all your questions, ask everything you need to know, and these guys will be here to help you. I have a friend in Canada here that came for the past 2 years. She couldn't get herself a job. She applied,
Wow.
she put in over 1,000 CVs. In fact, that was her job. Every day, she just opens her laptop applying. She didn't know what to do. She didn't know the right way to do it until she sought professional help. And now she's gainfully employed. So let us take advantage of this opportunity, reach out to them. As I mentioned earlier, I'm going to leave all the links down in the comment section. They are a registered Canadian company, so I did my background check on them to determine their legality. They are duly registered. They are not MMM and all these Ponzi whatever. If that's your fear, please let them be allayed. They are a registered company in Canada with a registered company address. They are authentic, and yeah, you can check them out and see how they can assist you. So, Adiza, is there any last words you want to leave for us? Say goodbye and just drop that catchment phrase for my guys for them to reach out to you, and you guys can take it out of here.
Yeah. So I just look forward to seeing, I don't know what to call them now, the Nezevilians.
The Nezeville, yeah.
The Nezevilians joining one of our sessions, and let's get, to help them get started. Just like your friend who 2 years couldn't land a job, professional help helped her unlock the opportunities. That's simply what you get when you have the right information. Okay. So I'd look forward to seeing as many people join our sessions. We get to take and answer your questions, and then we can help you get started. And you go back to Neze and tell her that, oh, You did something fantastic for me in 2025, and I look forward to having that interaction with every one of you.
Thank you so much, guys, for joining us today. We are going to have a live session also coming up very soon for those that want to join in on YouTube and ask some questions. But for now, please go join the link and ask all you need to ask. Thank you so much, guys, for joining us. It is me, your girl, Barrister Neze, and I'm going to see you guys in our next one. For now, bye.